To surprise my wife, I finished my mission early and headed home. But the person who opened the door was a man. "Hey buddy, who are you looking for?" My first thought was that we were being robbed. Right then, my wife saw me too. "Hubby, why are you back so early?" He just came to borrow the bathroom. Nothing happened between us. You should trust me, or should I believe I'm Qin Shi Huang? Heh, buddy. With a wife this pretty, you better keep a close eye on her. Great. He even dared to provoke me. I didn't say a word. I just calmly took off my jacket, revealing the dark blue police uniform underneath. "Police. Routine check. Please show your ID. Also, your behavior just now constitutes trespassing and intentional provocation of a public servant." Seeing his face instantly turn pale, and the look of disbelief on my wife's face, I knew the game was over. "Pick up your clothes and put them on." My voice wasn't loud, but it made the air in the living room freeze. Shen Hao stiffly picked up his shirt from the sofa. Lin Yuan, the woman I'd been married to for 3 years, finally snapped out of her shock. She rushed over, trying to grab my arm. "Qin Jun, listen to me. Let me explain. It's not what you think. Are you trying to obstruct official duties too?" I leaned away, not letting her touch even the corner of my clothes. I looked at her. Just one glance froze her in place, too scared to move. She had never seen me like this. Shen Hao was held by 2 of my colleagues and escorted to the door. As he passed by Lin Yuan, he still tried to act tough. "Yuan, don't worry. He wouldn't dare do anything to me." Lin Yuan watched helplessly as he was taken away, her lips trembling, unable to say a word. Sitting in the back of the police car, Shen Hao regained some of his arrogant rich kid attitude. "I'm warning you. My dad is Shen Wanchen. You're abusing your power. I'll get a lawyer and sue you." My colleague driving, Xiao Li, looked at me through the rearview mirror. I ignored him. I just hit play on my phone. "Buddy, with a wife this pretty, you better keep a close eye on her." Shen Hao's provocative voice echoed clearly in the cramped car. The color instantly drained from his face. When it was time for the interrogation, I told Xiao Li to step out first. "Brother, I know what I'm doing." After Xiao Li closed the door, I turned off the surveillance camera on the wall, leaving only a recording pen on the table. Watching my actions, Shen Hao started sweating bullets. "What are you trying to do? Extorting a confession is illegal." I didn't sit down. I just stood there, looking down at him. Shen Hao, 28 years old, vice president of Hongfa Group. Father is Shen Wanchen. Mother is Wang Liping. Resides at 12 Yihai Gardens, Jiangshan District. License plate Jing A. 888. With every sentence I spoke, his face grew a shade paler. I had the guys in the squad look up this info. On the way back. "What do you want?" "I don't want anything. I'm just curious. Why would a corporate vice president have the free time to run to my house to borrow the bathroom?" "I told you. I just borrowed it for a bit. Lin Yuan and I are innocent. I didn't ask if you two were innocent." Did she say I was like a block of wood who didn't understand her? My voice was very calm, so calm there wasn't a single ripple of emotion, but every word cracked his sturdy psychological defenses. He started trembling. I pushed the recording pen in front of him. "It doesn't matter if you talk or not. What matters is that I'll report today's incident to my superiors. A rich kid, trespassing into a private residence, provoking a police officer. Guess how much effort it'll take if your dad wants to protect you? And guess what happens if the tax, fire, and labor departments all suddenly take a little interest in Hongfa Group?" That was the final straw that broke him. He completely collapsed. "I'll talk. I'll tell you everything." For the next half hour, he spilled everything clearly, like beans pouring out of a bamboo tube. How they started their shady affair at a class reunion, how he showed off his wealth and status, and how Lin Yuan complained about how useless and incompetent I was. She said you were just a lowly grunt, living paycheck to paycheck, hesitating for half a year just to buy a bag. I listened expressionlessly, my knuckles turning white from clenching my fists too hard. So in her eyes, I was really that pathetic. The phone in my pocket vibrated like crazy. I didn't even need to look to know it was Lin Yuan. I took it out and hung up without a glance. A barrage of WeChat messages popped up. "Hubby, I was wrong. Can you please come home?" Shen Hao seduced me. I just had a moment of weakness. "I'm begging you. Our 3 years together can't just end like this." I glanced at them, then long pressed and deleted the chat. After getting what I wanted, I opened the interrogation room door. Trespassing. Insufficient evidence. Give him a verbal warning and tell him to get lost. Xiao Li was stunned for a second, but nodded and followed orders. Behind me, Shen Hao scrambled out, like a frightened snake, stumbling and crawling. He thought he had dodged a bullet. He didn't know. This game of chess had just begun. I didn't get home until late at night. When I unlocked the door, a strong scent of perfume hit my face. The living room lights were dimmed to an ambiguous, warm yellow. Lin Yuan was kneeling on the floor in the entryway, wearing exquisite makeup, her wet hair draped over her shoulders, looking pitiful. "Hubby, you're back." Her tears fell on cue, rolling down in large drops, but it was just. He was just thirsty, and came in for a glass of water. We really didn't do anything. Shen Hao had just taken off his shirt when you came back. "Hubby, please believe me." As she spoke, she reached out to unbutton my shirt. That practiced movement only disgusted me now. I slapped her hand away. Not hard, but full of humiliation. She froze, looking at me in disbelief. Hubby. I tossed the black recording pen onto the polished coffee table and hit play. She said you were just a lowly grunt. Shen Hao's mocking, sarcastic voice sounded exceptionally harsh in the quiet living room, living paycheck to paycheck, hesitating for half a year just to buy a bag. She said you were boring. Lin Yuan's crying abruptly stopped. All the color drained from her face, and her body began to shake uncontrollably. I walked up to her step by step, squatted down, and pinched her delicate chin with 2 fingers, forcing her to look up. You didn't just have a moment of weakness. You've been planning this for a long time. I pulled out the pre-printed divorce agreement and smacked it hard against her face. Sign it. Leave with nothing. The edge of the paper scraped her cheek, leaving a very faint red mark. She finally broke down. Qin Jun, how could you treat me like this? We've been married for 3 years. Are you throwing it all away just because of this? I only made a mistake that any woman could make. Why can't you forgive me just this once? I looked at her face, twisted with agitation, and let out a cold laugh. I'm just learning from you. Those words were the final blow that crushed her. She slumped onto the floor, her screaming turning into violent sobs. Qin Jun, give me one more chance. I ignored her wailing and turned to walk into the study. Over the sound of her crying, I heard myself say calmly, I bought this house outright before we got married. It's under my parents' names. The car was bought with the bonus money I risked my life for. It's also under my name. Your bags, your jewelry, your clothes, you can take them all. Oh right, the 200,000 yuan in your card is the money I transferred to you over the past 3 years. Remember to pay it back. I paused for a moment. It's fine if you don't sign, but tomorrow, this recording will end up on your parents' phones, with your colleagues at work, and all your best friends. Take your pick. With that, I didn't give her any time to react, and shut the door. I leaned against it, sliding down, to sit on the freezing floor. A wave of exhaustion washed over me. This 3-year marriage was like a joke. The woman who once made me feel like I could sacrifice everything for her had personally trampled my heart to pieces. I closed my eyes. When I opened them, only bone-chilling coldness remained. Lin Yuan, this is only the beginning. Early the next morning, as soon as I arrived at the station, the captain called me into his office. His expression was a bit heavy. He pushed a file folder toward me. Take a look. It was an anonymous tip letter. The letter used exaggerated language to paint me as a cop who abused his power and used excessive force. It claimed that out of personal jealousy, I illegally extorted a confession from an innocent citizen, causing severe psychological trauma to the victim. The whistleblower was Shen Hao. The city leaders have already called to give us a heads up, telling us to handle this properly. I looked at the letter, almost wanting to laugh. What a clumsy attempt at revenge. Right then, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Lin Yuan. Qin Jun, don't push this to a dead end. You can't afford to mess with Shen Hao's family. As long as you withdraw the divorce agreement, I'll tell him to drop the complaint. Let's make up. The message carried a hint of a threat and her self-righteous sense of luck. She still thought Shen Hao was her safety net. She still thought I'd be scared off by this petty trick. I turned off my phone screen and looked up at the captain. This isn't a simple false accusation. I handed my phone over and played the audio recorded in the police car. When Shen Hao provoked me, he provoked me first. Next, I pulled out a USB drive and plugged it into the captain's computer. Inside was the recording of Shen Hao's confession in the interrogation room. I had edited out the part where I broke protocol. There was also the surveillance footage I had, the property management poll, clearly showing Shen Hao showing up at my door with his clothes disheveled. This is his voluntary confession, as well as proof of his trespassing. Captain, a normal civil dispute, or rather, a simple extramarital affair. Why would Shen Hao use his powerful connections to pressure me? It doesn't make sense, unless he's genuinely scared. Scared of what? The captain put out his cigarette, frowning deeply. You mean, he had been my superior for years, and knew exactly what kind of person I was. I looked into Hongfa Group's files. They've expanded very rapidly over the past few years, but there are several highly suspicious areas in their financial reports. His extreme reaction this time doesn't seem like mere retaliation. It looks more like a guilty conscience. He's afraid we'll use this as an excuse to investigate his family's company. Not bad, kid. Having you work undercover really is a waste of talent. He looked at me, his eyes filled with that familiar trust and sharpness. I'll handle the complaint letter. Don't worry about it. As for Hongfa Group, I'm leaving it to you. Go hard on them. The squad will back you up. My heart suddenly warmed. Mission accepted. Stepping out of the captain's office, I felt a surge of energy coursing through me. I took out my phone, found Lin Yuan's number, and replied with 2 words. Dream on. After leaving the station, I called my colleague in the tech department, Lao Wang. Do me a favor. Lin Yuan's company exploded. Just half an hour after I left the captain's office, an untraceable virtual number sent an edited audio clip into Lin Yuan's internal company group chat. Him? He's just a block of wood. Not fun at all. There were over 100 people in the group. Shen Hao's voice wasn't in the recording, only Lin Yuan's. She used a coquettish tone to flirt with the male classmate on the other end of the line. His salary is so low, he hesitates just to buy a bag. You're the one with money and capability. She used harsh, bitter words to complain about her husband. The recording wasn't long, but it packed a massive amount of information. The group chat was dead silent at first, then completely blew up a few seconds later. Wow, didn't see that coming. Lin Yuan plays dirty. I always see her husband picking her up from work. He's tall and handsome, and treats her so well, and she's still not satisfied? You really can't judge a book by its cover. The director of Lin Yuan's department tagged her directly in the group. Your personal behavior has severely impacted the company's image. Please take note. Someone is framing me. Please, everyone. The company does not need employees with improper private lives. She was forced to pack up all her personal belongings on the spot, and was kicked out of the company building in disgrace. That wasn't all. Her close friends group chat also exploded. The recording was dropped in there too. The sisters who used to go shopping, drink tea, and share secrets with her. Not a single one stood up for her. The next second, Lin Yuan was kicked out of the group chat. She lost her job, lost her friends, and finally remembered to call me. Chen Jun, did you do this? Why are you trying to ruin me? Insufficient evidence. You can't just falsely accuse a police officer. She screamed in anger on the other end of the line. I'm going to sue you. I'll sue you for invasion of privacy. Sure, go ahead and sue. That way, even more people will get to hear it. After all, the recording is real. When the time comes, I'll conveniently send a copy to your aunt and uncle too. The other end of the line instantly went dead silent. I didn't give her a chance to say anything else, and just hung up. My colleagues from the tax department and I had already met up. Through a preliminary analysis of Hongfa Group's financial cash flow, we had obtained initial evidence of their tax evasion. I knew that to bring them down, this was only the first step. Lin Yuan's world was collapsing, and Shen Hao's world was about to meet its end too. I needed a good lawyer, a lawyer who could ensure Lin Yuan left with absolutely nothing, and leave her with no chance to turn things around. I sought out Su Qing. She was the top divorce lawyer in the city, famous for her ruthless tactics and airtight logic. She hadn't lost a single case since she started practicing. After hearing my request, she looked at the recording pen I placed on the table, the surveillance screenshots, and Shen Hao's statement. Her eyes lit up. Officer Qin, I'll take this case. She curled her red lips into a slight smirk, her tone carrying absolute confidence. I guarantee she won't get a single dime. She quickly shifted into work mode. Analyze the clauses in the marriage law for me. Regarding the division of assets for the at-fault party, extramarital affairs are a moral issue. From a legal standpoint, unless there's a video catching them red-handed, it's very hard to use it as the sole reason to make her leave empty-handed. But we can tackle this from another angle. For example, proving that during the marriage, she intentionally transferred or concealed joint marital assets, or, for instance, proving her improper conduct caused you severe mental distress. Plus, the text messages where she threatened you, along with her instigating that man to falsely accuse you, can all be used as evidence in court. While discussing the case, the logical thinking I displayed, and the complete chain of evidence also made her look at me in a new light. Chen Jun, you act more like a lawyer than many clients I've met. Our professions are different, but the logic is the same. Very soon, Lin Yuan received the court summons, and a lawyer's letter signed by Su Qing. In the letter, every word was rigorous and cold, listing every single one of her improper actions, and clearly stating that we would pursue her for full legal liability. Lin Yuan completely panicked. She didn't expect me to actually go through with it, let alone hire the best lawyer in the city. Since the hard way didn't work, she resorted to the soft approach. I was just confused for a moment. Please, Mom, Dad, save me. She ran to my parents' house, and as soon as she entered, she knelt down and cried her heart out. Get out! Our Qin family doesn't have a daughter-in-law like you. However, I had already explained everything to my parents, and let them listen to that crucial recording. My mom has a hot temper. She grabbed a broom right away, and chased her out of the house. Lin Yuan's emotional manipulation plan completely failed. To discuss the details of the case, Su Qing and I met for a meal at a restaurant. Halfway through our meal, a figure suddenly rushed over to our table. You slut, give me back my husband. It was Lin Yuan. Her eyes were bloodshot, glaring fiercely at Su Qing, looking like she wanted to eat her alive. She raised her hand, about to slap Su Qing across the face. I reacted faster, grabbing her wrist with one hand. That wrist was so thin, gripped so tightly by me that she couldn't move an inch. I looked at her face, twisted, with jealousy and rage. Lin Yuan, don't embarrass yourself any further. From beginning to end, Su Qing didn't even flinch, showing not a single trace of panic. She just elegantly wiped the corners of her mouth with a napkin, then looked up, giving Lin Yuan a disdainful glance. That look was full of contempt and scorn, as if looking at an unreasonable clown. Let me go. I won't let this slide. It was exactly that look that completely pierced Lin Yuan's pride, making her feel worse than if I had slapped her. I tightened my grip and shoved her away. In the restaurant, everyone's eyes were fixed on us. Su Qing sat there elegantly, while I stood coldly beside her. That stark contrast was like a resounding slap, viciously striking her ego. Lin Yuan was at a dead end. The last lifeline she could think of was Shen Hao. I'm sorry, you can't go in without an appointment. I just want to see him for a moment. Just 1 minute. Please. Rules are rules. Please leave. As a result, she was blocked at the door by the receptionist and security. She waited a full hour in the lobby, and finally managed to catch Shen Hao. Shen Hao stepped out of a black Bentley, dressed sharply in a suit and leather shoes. Seeing Lin Wan, his expression instantly turned impatient, as if looking at a sticky piece of trash he couldn't peel off. His tone was full of disgust. "Why are you here? Shen Hao, please help me. Qin Jun wants to divorce me. He wants me to leave empty-handed. You're the only one who can help me now." "Me? Help you? Why the hell should I help you?" Shen Hao swatted her hand away in disgust, as if he had just touched something filthy. He looked her up and down, his eyes full of mockery. "Ha ha ha. You didn't actually think I liked you, did you? I just thought, since you're a cop's wife, it'd be a fun little thrill. Now you're covered in trouble, and the cops already have their eyes on my family. Yet you still dare to come looking for me. Are you out of your mind?" She couldn't believe that the man who once whispered sweet nothings to her, who once held her in the palm of his hand, could say such harsh, heartless words. Shen Hao pulled a few red bills from his wallet. "Take this and get lost." He threw them right at Lin Wan's face. The weightless bills fluttered to the ground. As if ruthlessly mocking her stupidity and lowliness, Lin Wan was humiliated in front of everyone. All her dignity and illusions were crushed in this very moment. She finally understood that the love and the way out she had imagined were nothing but a joke from start to finish. This scene was captured by a colleague I had stationed nearby to gather evidence, conveniently recorded with a telephoto lens. The video was crystal clear. I forwarded the video to Su Qing. A few seconds later, Su Qing replied on WeChat, "Officer Qin, we have another piece of evidence against her. This can prove to the court that she has improper moral conduct and maintains shady financial relationships with others." I looked at that video. Lin Wan stood on the street, looking completely lost, walking alone amidst the bustling crowd, like a wandering soul abandoned by the whole world. For the first time, she started to reminisce about when we were still together. Even though we weren't rich, had she ever suffered such grievances? I handed my entire salary over to her. Whatever she wanted to buy, I might have complained it was expensive, but I'd still buy it for her in the end. I never let her wash a single bowl or cook a single meal. I held her in the palm of my hand, caring for her with all my heart, but she shattered it all with her own hands. The seed of regret finally began to sprout wildly in her heart. But this wasn't enough. Not even close. It was time to reel in the net. After weeks of relentless, secret investigation day and night, with the coordination of multiple departments like taxation and market regulation, we had completely grasped the Shen family's entire chain of illegal activities within their corporation. Tax evasion was just the tip of the iceberg. They were also suspected of loan fraud, illegal fundraising, and even money laundering. A massive commercial criminal empire, rotten to the core from the inside out. The arrest operation was set for 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Multiple city departments coordinated, deploying hundreds of police officers, striking like lightning. I personally led the team. The target was the Hongfa Group headquarters building. The core target, Shen Hao. Police cars rushed in with sirens blaring, surrounding the building so tightly that not a drop of water could leak through. We stormed the building, sending the employees inside into an uproar. I led 2 team members, straight to the vice president's office on the top floor, and kicked the door open. Shen Hao was sitting in his executive leather chair, leisurely enjoying his coffee. Seeing us, the smile on his face froze. "You are suspected of multiple economic crimes. We are now placing you under arrest in accordance with the law." I pulled out the cold handcuffs. He suddenly went crazy. "I'll kill you." He grabbed the coffee mug on the desk and hurled it at me. I tilted my head, easily dodging it, then stepped forward quickly, grabbed his arm, twisted it behind his back, and pinned him hard against the desk. At the same time, another group of colleagues in the chairman's office had arrested Shen Hao's father, Shen Wanshan, the business tycoon who once tried to use his connections to pressure me. That afternoon, the news was flooded with reports about the Shen family and the collapse of their corporation. Both father and son had fallen into the net. Lin Wan saw this news on her phone in a cheap rented room of less than 10 square meters. On the phone screen was a photo of me personally handcuffing Shen Hao. She stared at that photo, the blood draining from her body. She finally realized that her initial vanity and pursuit of novelty had ultimately provoked a terrifying existence. A week later, the city bureau issued a commendation order promoting me to vice captain of the Criminal Investigation Brigade. My world was filled with sunshine, while hers had become a bottomless abyss. The day of the divorce hearing arrived. In the courtroom, I sat in the plaintiff's seat with the calm and capable Su Qing beside me. Opposite us was Lin Wan, sitting in the defendant's seat. After not seeing her for a few months, she looked like a completely different person, haggard, gaunt, with empty eyes. The lawyer she hired was a young rookie who hadn't been in the field for long. Faced with Su Qing's overwhelming presence, he was so nervous that he stumbled over his words. The trial began. The court is now in session. Su Qing's logic was clear, her words sharp. She presented every piece of evidence. The recording of her insulting me, the security camera photos of her and Shen Hao in our marital home, and proof of her stalking and harassing me. Each piece of evidence was like a heavy hammer, smashing down on Lin Wan's dignity. She could only repeat over and over, "I was wrong." When it was my turn to speak, I stood up from my seat. The entire courtroom fell silent. I didn't look at Lin Wan even once. I just calmly said one sentence to the judge. I request the court to approve all my litigation claims. I do not want to have any further ties with this person. After speaking, I sat back down without another word. Finally, the judge declared that the defendant, Lin Wan, was at severe fault, granted the divorce, and ruled that the defendant had no claim to the joint marital assets. The verdict left Lin Wan with nothing. Stepping out of the courthouse, the sunlight outside was just right. Congratulations, Vice Captain Chin. You've been reborn. Supported by the bailiffs, Lin Wan walked out of the courthouse looking completely shattered. At a glance, she saw our hands intertwined and saw the relieved smile on my face. She froze in place, her eyes filled with endless despair, jealousy, and a dead silence. She had lost everything, while I was about to start a brand new life. A few months later, on a rainy late autumn night, I was taking Su Qing home. We had just made our relationship official, and everything was as beautiful as a dream. The car stopped downstairs at my place. I was about to get out and walk her upstairs, when a frail figure suddenly dashed out from a dark corner nearby, blocking the front of the car. It was Lin Wan. She had no umbrella, and was soaked to the bone. What are you doing here? She saw me, and more importantly, she saw Su Qing sitting in the passenger seat with exquisite makeup and elegant clothes. She didn't go crazy like last time. She just dropped to her knees in the freezing puddle, kowtowing to me nonstop. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Can you please forgive me? I'm begging you. I have nothing left. I live in a basement, working 3 jobs a day, living in a nightmare every single day. Her voice was hoarse, mixed with the sound of the rain, making it sound even more pathetic. Su Qing frowned, unbuckled her seatbelt, and was about to get out. Su Qing frowned, unbuckled her seatbelt, and was about to get out. I reached out to stop her, and shook my head at her. I pushed the car door open, opened my umbrella, and walked over to the passenger side. I opened the door and held the umbrella over Su Qing's head, shielding her from all the wind and rain. Only then did I turn my head, to look at Lin Wan kneeling in the rain. You know what? When I was undercover, with bullets grazing my scalp, I was never afraid. Seeing the person in front of me get gunned down, I was never afraid. But that day, when I pushed open the door to our home, and saw you and Shen Hao inside our house, in that moment, I was afraid. You killed the Qin Jun who used to love you. Her eyes instantly darkened. So put away this pitiful act of yours. I don't hate you, because you're not worth it. After saying that, I didn't look at her again. I pulled Su Qing into my arms, carefully shielding her, and walked into the building without looking back. Behind me was the cry Lin Wan had held back for so long, finally bursting out in a heart-wrenching wail. That cry was scattered by the wind and rain. No longer able to reach my world, I received a letter. The return address was the city's first prison. The handwriting on the envelope was crooked, full of agitation and resentment. It was written by Shen Hao, because the amount of money involved in the case was too massive, and the circumstances were exceptionally severe. He was sentenced to 20 years. In the letter, there was no trace of his initial arrogance and domineering attitude. The entire letter was filled with fear of life behind high walls, and a sense of awe toward me. He used long paragraphs to curse Lin Wan. At the end of the letter, he even started begging me, hoping I would consider his repentance, and help pull some strings for him on the inside. After reading the letter, I let out a soft chuckle, casually folded it up, and stuffed it into a clean new envelope. I asked a colleague to look up Lin Wan's current whereabouts. She was currently working odd jobs, at a remote and filthy car wash. I didn't go personally. I asked Xiao Li, the colleague who had heard the recording of Shen Hao's provocation in the police car, to make a trip for me. Xiao Li drove his own car to that car wash to get it cleaned. Lin Wan was wearing a baggy waterproof suit, holding a high-pressure water gun, mechanically spraying foam off the car's body. Her hands were red from the cold, and her face was splattered with dirty water. When Xiao Li was paying, that letter accidentally slipped out of his pocket and fell right at Lin Wan's feet. Oh, I dropped my letter. Lin Wan bent down to pick it up. When she saw the words, City's First Prison, on the envelope and the recipient as me, Qin Jun, her hands couldn't help but tremble. Xiao Li pretended not to notice, took the letter, and casually stuffed it back into his pocket, but intentionally left it sticking out. Thanks. Ah, this letter is useless anyway. The boss said to throw it away after reading it. Why don't I just give it to you for scrap paper? After Xiao Li left, Lin Wan picked it up as if possessed. Trembling, she opened the letter stained with dirty water. On the letter, Shen Hao's twisted, hate-filled handwriting was like poisoned knives, viciously stabbing into her heart. What she once thought was a charm that made people sacrifice and everything for her, in that man's eyes, was nothing but stupidity and the root of disaster. A year later, I was the vice captain of the city's criminal investigation brigade, in charge of major cases. My relationship with Su Qing naturally fell into place. She was smart and independent, able to understand the dangers and busyness of my job. She could always, when I was at my most exhausted, give me the warmest comfort. I decided to propose to her. The location I chose was the cafe where we first met, at that same window seat. The sunlight streamed in through the glass, warm and radiant. I was a little nervous, my palms covered in sweat. I took out from my pocket the velvet box I had prepared a long time ago. I opened the box. Inside was a diamond ring with a simple yet dazzling design. Su Qing looked at me, her eyes instantly turning red. Are you willing to watch all the scenery of the future with me? I am.